Welcome one and all. In this session, we are going to discuss about the various examples for the various control statements in C. Under the course name, Programming for Problem Solving in C. The prerequisite of this session is some basic knowledge of problem solving techniques, basic knowledge about C programming. Objective of the session is given to discuss various example programs for the various control statements in C, such as selection statements, iteration statements, jump statements, and label statements. The various control statements are listed below. Those are decision statements, loops, break and continue, case control structure, return statement, go to statement, and exit statement. First, we start with if statement, which comes in the very first of the control statements in C, that is decision statements. The question given, write a C program to calculate profit or loss according to the given selling price and cost price supplied by the user. Here we try to read the selling price and the cost price from the user, and we are going to compare the selling price with the cost price. According to that, we are going to say it is profit or it is loss. Our own variables are here. CP meant for the cost price, SP meant for the selling price, and the amount is AMT. And we ask the user to enter the cost price, and the cost price is read from the user. And we ask the user to enter the selling price, and the selling price data is going to read from the user and store in the integer variable SP. Now using the if loop, we are going to compare selling price is greater than cost price. Then it will be the profit for the user. So the profit is calculated by means of amount is equal to selling price minus cost price, and it is going to display by profit is equal to amount. In another run, if according to the value given, if cost price is greater than selling price, this if loop will be, if statement will be selected by the program flow. Now amount is equal to cost price minus selling price, so that the loss is happened. So loss is going to be displayed. According to the value given, we can check the cost price 1000 is given and selling price 1500 is given, so that profit is happening. So that profit is equal to 100 is displayed here. Next, we are going to discuss if else statement under the decision statements in C. Here in if else statement, we are going to take two decisions. Either it is going to execute the true part or it is going to execute the false part according to the given data and given test condition. First of all, we are declaring the variables and ask the user to enter two numbers, two integer value, and it is going to read by the variable name int1, int2. Now these two variables are verified by means of this if statement. We are going to equate. We are going to find out either these two value given by the user is equal or not. This program is meant for to find out the two numbers are equal or not equal. So in the true part, we are having printf number 1 and number 2 are equal. In else part, we are having number 1 and number 2 are not equal. So according to your given value, and in this if statement, it is going to decide it either it is going to print the true statement or it is going to print the false statement. And we all know that it is a single true statement we are going to execute or single false statement we are going to execute. That's why there is no curly braces given, no block of code is needed. And according to our output, you can see the input number is 15 and another number is 15. So that both are number equal. Output is number 1 and number 2 are equal. In decision statements, next we are going to discuss about the nested if statement. A complex question is given to calculate the electricity bill according to the consumed units. So in each and every step there is a different decision is going to be taken, and further some surcharges need to be added, from minimum charges need to be calculated. So according to the given input we can clearly understand we need to use the nested if statement here, since different kind of decisions is need to be taken here. Just now we are going to analyze the question. We need to calculate the electricity bill by means of the unit consumed by the user. The charges are given below. Up to 199 units we are having a charge of 1 rupee 20 paise for each and every unit. From 200 to 399 we need to charge 1.50 rupees per unit. From 400 to 599 we need to charge 1.80 per unit. Above 600 we need to charge 2 rupees per unit. After this calculation, if the bill exceeds 400, then we need to add a surcharge of 15% for this bill. And at the same time, if the overall cost is minimum 100, less than 100, then the minimum charge will be 100 will be charged. So here we can see how many number of if decisions we need to take. Up to 199 is there, from 200 to less than 400 is there, from 400 to less than 600 is there, and above 600 is also there. After that, after calculation of this charges per unit, there are different charges is supplied here. We need to find out whether there is a need for surcharge, and then we need to find whether there is a need for the minimum charge value we need to collect. Let's see the example program. The program code is given for the electricity bill calculation. Here we need to get the input customer ID and then customer name for billing purpose, and then the consumed unit, which is going to be read from the user CONU, that is consumed, a variable is declared here, and this consumed unit is going to be verified whether it is less than 200. If it is less than 200, then the charge will be rupees 1.2, that is assigned to the charge variable CHG. Next, in the else part, we are going to take another decision. If the consumed unit is greater than 200 or less than 400, then the charge will be 1.5. It is in the true part of that. If what is the else part, then it will be greater than 400. So that now we move for another else if the consumed unit is greater than 400 and the consumed unit is less than 600, then we need to find out the charge will be 1.80. Else, this else part stands for if your entire consumer unit is not falls under any one of this decision, then the charge will be 2.0. That is, it is greater than 200 and greater than 600. That's why it comes directly to the else statement here. Now we find the charge. For this charge, now we are going to find out the gross amount. GRAMT is equal to consumed unit into the change CHG charge. If the gross amount is greater than 300, then we have to find out the surcharge also. Surcharge is equal to gross amount into 15 divided by 100. That is, the 15% of the gross amount is going to added with the surcharge. Now net amount is equal to gross amount plus surcharge is calculated. If the net amount is less than 100, we need to find out a fixed charge 100. Otherwise, the net amount will remain same. So according to this calculated value, now we are going to find out using this input output. We are going to find out the user consume 800 units. Now for these 800 units, now we are going to calculate the amount is charged by means of 2 per unit, since it is greater than 600. So that 1600 is calculated here, and for this 1600 it is greater than surcharge calculated value, so that we are going to calculate the surcharge also for this 1200. 15% is 240. Both are added, and then the net paid amount is 1840. The last statement in the decision statement is if else ladder. So why it is called as if else ladder is, we are going to take several decisions in the else if, so that the construction of this else if is seems to be like a staircase like structure or a ladder like structure in the else if part, so that it is called as a if else ladder. Now we are going to check whether the given year a value is leap year or not using the elif ladder concept. Now get the user value input year, and it is going to store in a variable, and that value is going to be modulo division by 400. If it is equal to 0, then it is surely it is a leap year. And the next condition is it should not be comes under the century, so that we have to check with the check year modulo division by 100. If it is false equal to 0, then it is not a leap year. Elif, the variable is going to modulo division by 4. If it is modulo division by 4, the remainder is equal to 0, then it is a leap year. And finally, we are having a else statement. If your supplied year is not falls under the modulo division 400, the decision is not taken. If modulo division 100, the division is not taken, and then modulo division 4, the decision is not taken, then surely it is not a leap year. So that we have to have a default else statement to find out whether it is a non-leap year or not. So according to this supplied value, the input year is 2016 is given here. So for each and every statement, this value is going to be verified, and then it is going to find out the 2016 is a leap year. Next, we go for the another control statement called loop statements. Among that, the first one is for loop. The question is, write a C program to display the nth term of odd natural numbers and their sum. We need to display only the odd natural numbers. So the nth term will be given by the user. We ask the user input the nth number of terms. He will give some value. So it is going to assign in a variable n, and then we are just saying the odd numbers are going to print. We are having a for loop here. For I is equal to 1 starting initialization, I less than or equal to n, that is your checking condition. I plus plus is the one time incrementer, and here there is a small formula we have after 2 into I minus 1. That means we are going to give the odd numbers only, and then sum is equal to sum plus 2 into I minus 1. That is the same number is going to be added with the sum here. And at last, if the for loop is keep on executed, and if I is greater than n, this for loop will be get exit, and then you can see the output. The input nth term is 10, the odd numbers are continuously printed, and the sum of odd numbers which is already calculated is also going to be printed here. So here the for loop is executed. Here the for loop is executed from 1 to n times. The n time is defined by the user. Next, in looping statement, we are going to discuss about the while loop. The while loop will have a set of block of statements need to repeat until the checking condition will get false, and we have to remember that the increment value will be given to the block of code also, otherwise this while loop will become an infinite loop. Using this logic, we are going to find out the power of an integer without using a inbuilt math function using a while loop. The required variables are declared here, the base value, exponent value, and a flag is also used to find the power of an integer without using the inbuilt math function. Now the base value is going to be get from the user, the exponent value is also get from the user, and then a flag is set here. Now if the flag is not equal to 0, until that this particular while loop is keep on repeated until n times, even though it is n time, until the flag is not equal to 0. But we remember what is the checking condition we are having. That particular variable should be a increment operator or decrement operator inside the same while loop execution statements. Otherwise, this value, checking value, will not get altered, so that this while loop will always become a infinite loop. Now, inside the while statement, while loop, we are having a set of statements, answer equal to answer into base, that is the base value with the answer will keep on updated, and then the flag is now minus minus. So once the value is multiplied, the flag is now reduced. Now you can see this flag is the checking variable in the while, so that this flag is now altered, so that your while loop will be execute some nth time only. It is not going for infinite time. After a particular condition, the flag is will become 0, so that it will come out of the while loop. Now your output is going to be displayed. Enter the base number is 2 and the exponent number is 5, and according to the separate value, 2 power 5 is calculated by means of this while loop, and then the output is displayed here as 32. Here the only main thing you have to remember in the while loop is what is the checking condition in the while statement. That particular variable should be altered inside the set of while statements. Otherwise, your while loop will become a infinite loop without modifying the checking variable. So that we need to surely have this flag plus plus or flag minus according to your supplied program. Next, in the loop statement, we are going to discuss about the do while loop. There is a difference between while loop and do while loop. Do while loop will execute at least once, and in the end of the do while loop, we are having the while statement with the checking condition. And here the condition remains same as the while loop also. Here also we are having a checking condition, and we are having a variable. That variable should be altered within the do while statement. Otherwise, your while loop will be do while loop will be the infinite loop. Here we are going to write a C program to print a table of number 2 using the do while loop. Now a initialize variable is done here, num equal to 1, and then we enter a do while statement, print 2 into num. So initialize num equal to 1, so that the first table of 2 number is 2 is printed. So that is by default we need to do that, and then we increment the num. Now this is the increment operator used inside the do while statement. Now at the end of the do while statement, we are having the while statement, and then we are having the checking variable num is less than or equal to 10. So until the num is less than or equal to 10, we are going to repeat this do while statement. This is just like a while statement, it is going to keep on repeat until the num is less than or equal to 10. Num plus plus is there. This particular variable is altered inside the do while loop, so that this particular do while loop will not become a infinite loop. It will repeat for the finite time only, and according to this input we are having the output like this: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 18 and 20 will be printed, and at the particular time num plus plus is there, so that it will go for the 11. So this do while loop will get exit. Next we are going to check the control structure, that is switch case break structure in C. Write a C program to input a week number from a user and print the corresponding day name of week. So we declare our own variables, and then we ask the user to enter week number. That means from 1 to 7. You need to enter some week number here. Now according to this week number, we construct a switch case here. This week is the selection number. Using this switch, we are going to check whether it is 1, it is Monday, whether it is 2, it is Tuesday. We continue in the next slide. If the case is 3, then it is Wednesday, or case is 4 is Thursday, like this it will go on. By default, we need to show please enter week number between 1 and 7. Suppose a user accidentally or for checking purpose he type more than 7, then we can't able to say whether it is a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, anything. So that we need to ask the user to enter the proper number. Let us check the output. Here enter the week number 1 to 7, maybe separate 6. So it is a Saturday. So case 6 is selected and those two print statement is printed, and then we encounter a break. What is the use of this break? Break will break the particular looping. So the switch case is breaked here. After the switch case, the forward line is written so that the main program is terminated here. Next, we are going to discuss the jump statements in C. Among that, first one is we are going to discuss about the return statement. The return statement further divided into two things, return with no argument and return with argument. Now we are going to discuss an example program for return with no argument. So here we are going to find out whether the given number is prime or not, and we are going to done by means of return with no argument concept. So here the main function is there. The main function, we are going to call a function called check prime number, and we go to the check prime number function. Inside that we are apply all the logic for getting the input, process the value, and then display the output there itself, and we come back to the main function without return any argument from the called function called check prime number. So that is done here. We can verify that in the main we are called a function called check prime number. So from here the execution jumps to the void check prime number. What is the use of the void check prime number? That means it says this check prime number is a function which is not going to return anything. So among that we are discuss all our variables, and then we are getting the user value from enter the positive integer, and then using a for loop and using the modulo division of this n value along with the each and every divisor value, then we are going to find out whether the given number is a prime number or not, if and only if the flag is equal to 1. We can check that there is no return statement here, or otherwise the return does not have any value here. Let me check with the output. Enter the positive number 7 is given. 7 is a prime number is displayed. Next jump statement, return with argument, is discussed here. The example program for return with an argument. Here in the main we are having our own variables, and we have an array of values, set of value 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50, and we are calling a function along with the a value, and then the address of the array is also passed. Now jump to the function here. We receive the variable, and with the pointer, when the address is received by the pointer variable here, and then we are going to add a constant value along with each and every element of the array, and it is returned back to the main function, where it is using a for loop, the array values are displayed. Then we check with the input output. The value of 40 is given, and the starting value is 20 is added with 40, and then first element a of 0 is 60, and then each and every element is having a equal interval 60, 70, 80, 90 and 100 will be displayed. Next concept in the jump statement is go to statement. So as already we have discussed in the previous session also, the goto statement is not advised in any program, since the goto statement may create the unconditional jump here and there, so that the program sequence may get altered. So the jump statement, goto statement, will not advisable in any programming language, but in C, for some unconditional place where very nested loops is happening, where we need to escape from the nested loop, we need to use this jump statement, this goto along with the label. Now here, using this goto statement and label, we are going to create a function like check even or not logic. So here the function check even or not is written first, and then the main is followed with that. No issue with that. So in the main we are having a number is going to be received from the user, and then we are called the check even or not function. The argument is passed here num, and now this argument is not going to return anything. From here itself we are going to find out whether it is a even number or not. So this given number is modulo division 2 is happened. If it is equal to 0, then there is no remainder, so that it will be a even number. Here we are using go to even, so that this even is a label. This label is searched here. Now even label is here. There we are having the printf statement, and immediate to that we are having a return statement, so that the function call will be returned back. Or otherwise, if we give some other odd number, then it go for the else part. Here we are having go to odd, so that the odd part is going to be printed here, and then it is going to return back. Let me check with the input, enter the positive number to check. 26 is supplied, so that 26 is even is printed. Next statement we are going to discuss here in the jump statement is break. So the break statement will, once you encounter, it is going to break the current loop. Here in the main, we are having I is equal to 0, I is less than or, until I is less than or equal to 10, the while loop is going to execute, and then the value of the variable is displayed here, and then we are having I plus plus, that is the increment operator, and whenever this I is equal to 4, then we encounter the break statement. So this break statement will break this while loop until this I is equal to up to 10, this loop will be executed again. So the statement of outside the while loop will be printed once, like this. The first value variable is 1, and then the value of the variable is 2, and value is 3. Once the high value become 4, it will break the while loop, so that it can't repeat until the 10 times. So this statement of the outside the while loop will also printed, where the break statement is going to the next line of the while loop. Just like the break statement, next we are going to discuss about the continue statement. So both are can be used along with the looping structure. The break statement will break the loop. The continue statement will bypass the next immediate statements. So here we are having j starts from 0, a for loop, j is less than or equal to 8, until that it is going to repeat. If j is equal to 4, then we are encoding continue. What is the meaning of this continue here? The j for loop of j value, if is equal to 0, then it will continue. Then it will bypass this print statement, so that 0 will print, 1 will print, 2 will print, 3 will print, 4 will not be printed, 5 will be printed here. But if suppose if it is break until 4 it is printed, then it will be, until 3 it will be printed, then it will be break the statements. But here we can see the output 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 is not printed, 5, 6, 7, 8 is printed here. That is the major difference between the break and continue. The last statement in jump statement is exit statement. So what is the use of the exit statements? Once it's encounter, the entire program will get terminated. So here you can see the character choice is there, and then choice is equal to get char. This is a function. get char, which is used to read a character from the user, which is belongs to the stdlib header file. That's why this stdlib.header file is also declared in the program. Now get char, which is going to get the character from the user. Only if the choice other than q, we will execute the else part. Forget code retains, like that. If the choice is q, then we are just exit the program. No any coding is executed further. Thank you for watching the video. The reference of preparing the programs and this session is given here. For further clarification, you can contact me in the given email ID.